Anti-Japanese protests spread to Hong Kong, where Japanese and American flags are being burnt by demonstrators. More protests against Mainland Chinese Hawkers as the Hong Kongers' anger reached boiling point. Thank you for watching.
In Perth stories, WA Labor Party have launched TV ads against the Barnett government. And after 40 years, we say goodbye to the Myer store in Fremantle.
This is the Evening News.
Good evening. There was anti-Japanese demonstrations in Hong Kong as citizens demanded Japan to return the Dwyer Islands to China. Although the protest was generally peaceful, some angry demonstrators burned the United States and Japanese flags. That person responsible was later arrested by police. Hong Kong correspondent Laurent reports.
The Action Committee for Defending the Dwyer Islands launched a protest urging the Japanese government returning the Dwyer Islands called by the Chinese. The police said there was over 800 protesters, where the committee said there was 5,000. The front of the mass was the captain and the crew of the ship, Kaifeng II, which went to the Dwyer Island last month. They held a banner commemorating the Godden incident and protested against the Japanese occupying the islands and called for boycotting the Japanese product when they walked past the Japanese department store. For the time being, a man who burned the flag of Japan and USA was brought by the police force. They arrived at the Exchange Square in Central and had their declaration under the Japanese Consulate of Hong Kong, expressing their stance of opposing Japanese militarism and burned the Japanese flag. Since no one received the letter, they then burned the petition and left peacefully. Laurent, DHK News, Hong Kong.
Meanwhile, close to the border of Hong Kong, more demonstrations as local citizens are fed up with the Mainland Chinese Hawkers in the area. There was anger and confusion at the Shuangshui MTR train station as protesters clashed with the hawkers, and local police struggled to control the situation.
More than hundreds of local citizens gathered together at the Shuangshui MTR train station last Saturday in Hong Kong. Protesters resent the Mainland Chinese Hawkers blocked up the passages at the train station, causing price inflation on local goods, which affect the local citizens. Protesters upheld banners and shouted out the slogans against Chinese hawkers. Legislative Councillor Leung showed up to support the demonstration. Local police struggled to control the situation. A male protester got slapped and hit during the demonstration. The rally lasted approximately 4 hours. Protesters gradually dispersed in the evening. Queenie Lee, DHK News.
Back to Perth, the WA Labor Party has launched a television campaign called The Real Picture, going against Colin Barnett's The Bigger Picture campaign. The opposition leader has defended, saying the advertisement is not negative, instead highlighting the real problems of Western Australia.
In a feisty week that's not been seen in West Australian politics since the last election, the Labor Party have returned serve with an advertising campaign of their own. Just last week we had Colin Barnett revealing his Bigger Picture campaign, and the response from WA Labor is for the Premier to see the real picture.
But this is the real picture for families under Colin Barnett.
The advertisements contain caricatures of Mr Barnett, as well as representation of families and the rising cost of living, and take aim at the Liberal Party's alleged $1.5 million publicity campaign. Opposition leader Mark McGowan reiterated the strengths of the campaign, promoted the use of party funds as opposed to taxpayer dollars, and questioned the Liberal Party's focus on the CBD developments.
And this campaign is pointing out all of those issues that the government doesn't seem to care about. Waitlist in housing, cost of living increases for families, problems in our health system. It's very important that a government should focus on the concerns of the broader community, not just Central Business District.
It's a return to a for-the-people approach by the West Australian Labor Party, and McGowan implored the public to elect Labor into power on the ticket of maintaining an affordable cost of living.
I've released somewhere in the vicinity now 20 major policies detailing a whole range of measures we'll take in various areas, and no one is criticising the opposition for a lack of policy detail.
Kristian Dwyer, DHK News.
Perth rivers are becoming a rubbish paradise, with 11 tonnes of garbage and rubble being picked up between 2011 and 2012. The rubbish and rubble being collected include signs, toys, fishing line, timber, tyres and many more items. In a media statement, the Environment Minister Bill Marmion described the behaviour of those who litter around the river as inexplicable.
Major concerns for the Swan River have emerged after authorities collected up to 11 tonnes of rubbish from Perth foreshores and waterways over the last year. Figures released by the Swan River Trust show that more than 6.3 tonnes belong to general waste, where the remaining 5 include timber and rubble. Environmental Minister Bill Marmion says it's imperative to urge people to stop dumping in and around Perth rivers.
We do probably need to encourage people to actually look after the rubbish. I think the best way to get the message is through the schools, because I think that not only teaches the children, but they go home and I think their parents learn a message as well.
Among the list of retreat materials, tyres were the most common large item being dumped. But what's also worrying is that these figures were released only a few weeks after the organisation Keep Australia Beautiful labelled West Australians as the worst litterers in the country. Large amounts of plastic bags and fishing lines, which pose a significant danger to WA's marine life, were also amongst the collected rubbish.
It's a real concern, some of these items that are being left in the river, particularly fishing line, which can entangle around marine mammals.
Although the government has increased penalties for dumping and littering in public spaces, it is up to the community itself to raise awareness about the importance of a rubbish-free Swan River. Alexandra, Mollo, DHK News.
It's an end of an era as flagship department store Myers closed down its 40th-year-old branch in the city of Fremantle. It's understood the closing was to make way for the King James Square redevelopment project. Fremantle Deputy Mayor Josh Wilson is confident that the city will not lose visitors and shoppers as a result of the closure.
The Myers store in Fremantle will be closing down early next year to make way for a new project that will bring about changes and a revitalization to the city. The store has been there for about 40 years now, and putting sentimental values aside, Deputy Mayor of Fremantle Josh Wilson stated that the closure will allow very significant redevelopments.
Putting the sentiment and the symbolism to one side, the reality is that this decision clears the way for the owner of that building to embark on very significant redevelopment. We absolutely need to have that right in the heart of our city.
Apart from the Myers store, there are many other tourist attractions that can be found in the city of Fremantle, such as the rich heritage, restaurants and beautiful beaches. But having been around for such a long time, the Myers store definitely holds some sentimental values.
I think it's sad because it's been around for years, from my understanding.
I'm a bit sad for Fremantle. It's a bit of a daggy old store, but I hate big shopping centres. I'd never go to Garden City.
Some frequent customers find it sad, while others will have to find alternatives when the store closes. Redevelopment plans are still awaiting approval, but the redevelopment looks set to begin in the second half of next year. Timothy Seow, DHK News.
Time for national news. The latest polling conducted yesterday by the Australian newspaper showed Julia Gillard has risen above federal opposition leader Tony Abbott to be the preferred Prime Minister. Ms Gillard now has 46% of voters, while Mr Abbott has 32%. On the two-party preferred basis, Labor and the Coalition both have 50%. While Federal Labor has gained 36% on primary votes, the Coalition is still leading despite their support dropping by 4 points.
And finally, in sport, in WA Quidditch weekend match, the Perth Phoenixes thrashed the Murdoch Mandrakes by 90 points after a 35-minute match at the Bush Court. The Phoenixes were at the top of the game, with Priscilla Gardner scoring the most goals for the team, securing the Phoenixes' victory despite the Mandrakes getting the gold snitcher at the end of the match. The final score of the game is 210 to 120. And that's how the world looks tonight.
Sarah Miller will be in my chair next week as I'll be away.
Enjoy a holiday, Anna.
Thanks. Good evening.
Good night.